Why not?
Okay, so you guys remember I recently made the video about the Somalis for Trump. Remember I asked, had anyone checked on these idiots? Had anyone interviewed any of these idiots who said that they went out and they campaigned for Donald Trump? Well, remember this guy with the slick voice that said, hey, why'd you campaign for him? Why do you like Donald Trump? And he said, because he's a fighter, and we like fighters.
And the reason why is because he's a fighter. That's it. We like fighters. More importantly, the left left us. They left us.
He was real slick with it, wasn't he? He was like, and more importantly, the Democratic Party, they left us. They left us. So he was voting for Donald Trump. I've been wondering, what do people like him think now that Donald Trump is running around shitting on his people? Absolutely shitting on them. Well, CNN found that dumbass and they asked him, what do you think of Donald Trump now? Because now Donald Trump is saying your people are garbage. He wants them out of the country. He wants you gone because you're garbage. What do you think about him calling you garbage after you went out and, according to you, reached over 50 million people for him?
What would you say to the president if he were standing here right now?
Mr. President, we campaigned for you. We have hope in you. We see hope in you. Please differentiate between good, bad, and evil.
That's a Somali immigrant who voted for President Trump in 2024, but now Trump is demonizing Somalis in America, specifically here in Minnesota.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
I got 5 children. My children are no garbage.
But the man you supported is calling your children garbage. You can say they're not garbage all you want, but the guy you supported, the guy you campaigned for, the guy you told a bunch of your people to support and vote for, called you and your 5 children garbage. Garbage. One thing these people don't understand about transactional relationships. When the transaction is done, the people who are making that transaction with you don't care about you anymore. They used you. You're a token. You've been used, you've been spent, and now they want to throw your ass out. You can say all you want that your children are not garbage, but you told everyone to listen to him. You told all of your people to believe in that man. You said that man is an agent of chaos. He is the truth. He is the one who is going to lead us to a better day. He's going to make America great again. You told people to trust him. Now he's calling your children garbage, and you're now telling us not to trust him. Why? What's changed?
I campaigned for the president in 2024. I actually went out and we reached 50 million people endorsing Trump 7 days before the election.
What drew you to the president?
Because we believed he was an agent of chaos. We couldn't afford anything back then. There was a fentanyl crisis. There was an issue of affordability. The living standards went down. Crime issues. These are 5 very important things to us. And we believe that Trump would be the solution to it.
All those concerns you had, they still exist. Now you have the president shitting on your people to go along with all of those concerns. And you fell for the okie doke somehow because this is nothing new. Donald Trump told you he was going to get here. And this is why I'm always telling the black MAGAs, you are next. He's just going down the hue chart. He started with Hispanics. He said those people were garbage. He said that they were coming here. They weren't sending their best. They're sending their murderers and rapists and all that, right? Then he moved the Haitians. Haitians are eating the cats and dogs. What the hell made you think he wasn't going to get to Somalis at some point? Like what? In what world do you see someone being racist toward people who are pretty damn close to your look and you think, no way he's ever going to be that way to us. No way am I ever going to see him shitting on people who look like me because we went out and we campaigned for him. And you know, I hate using the term battered women syndrome because God knows I've dealt with that in my life. Stockholm syndrome, like what type of people are you're still begging this guy to be okay. I just want him to see the difference between, you know, good, bad, and evil. And like, we're not that. Those other people, yeah, the people we voted for you to shit on, go ahead, still shit on them. But please, leave us out of this. We didn't expect the leopards to be eating our faces. That is what he is saying right now. It's so pathetic how many times I've got on this channel and done one of these videos and said, what? How'd this happen? How did you not see the writing on the wall? It was, like many people have said, it was an open book test. It was, the teacher gave you the notes and said, use these on the test. And you chose to disregard those. You disregarded all of the warning signs, the easy stuff. Like, I don't know how many times I'm talking to one of my athletes and I'm counseling them about something. And I'm like, you know, signs were there. But, you know, they were a little tough to see. This isn't the case with Donald Trump and what he's going on right now, what he's got going on. This isn't the case. The signs were easy. They were easy and we were all saying it. And now this guy's like, why us? Why us, Mr. Trump? Don't you love us? We still love you. Like he is going to say right now, we still love you.
I've been a Republican for over 25 years. I'm not going to stop being a Republican. But what I do know is for a fact is we're getting killed out here because people are saying, we told you so.
I don't even know how to receive what he just said. Donald Trump is calling your people garbage. He is trying to get rid of any protection that they have to stay in this country. A lot of people have been pointing out that many of these Somalis are American citizens. Do you think Donald Trump cares? He is going to try and find a way to even deport the citizens. He's going to try to find a way to get rid of every protection that they have to stay in this country. So Donald Trump is absolutely shitting on your people, calling you garbage, but you're concerned. You're concerned that people are saying, we told you so. That's your concern. You should be concerned with trying to figure out how you're going to keep your people from being treated like shit. Because now what we have is a rash of a bunch of things going on where people are now being absolutely racist and absolutely horrible toward your people. And it's really nice to see people in your community, people who are not Somali, white people in your community who were smart enough to know that this was going to happen, but they are still coming to your defense and saying, stop it. These are good people.
I live in Minneapolis. I've had Somali doctors, nurses, servers, Uber drivers. There are students here. I've shopped next to Somali families at the Mall of America. There's an indoor soccer place near me where Somalis frequently play while their partners and their kids sit at tables and do homework, or read a book, or look at TikTok. There are about 60,000 Somalis in the state of Minnesota out of 6 million people, and about 500 of them are under temporary protected status. The rest are legalized residents or naturalized citizens. There are not roaming gangs of Somalis on the streets. There's not a Somali takeover, and 80% of crime here is not caused by Somalis. Shame on Tom Emmer for telling such a dangerous lie, and shame on President Trump for using the alleged actions of a small number of people to demonize an entire group of my fellow Minnesotans.
And if you don't know what he's talking about, when he says that Tom Emmer and the Trump administration are using the acts of a few to demonize the entire community, he's talking about this scandal that went on. When you hear Donald Trump saying that these people have scammed the state for billions of dollars, he's talking about a small group of people, and he's using that to call all of them garbage and say that all of them need to go. Like this guy said, there's over 60,000 in Minnesota, and Donald Trump is taking the acts of like 12 to 15 people to say all 60,000 of them are garbage.
This is also a community on edge. There are roughly 80,000 Somalis living here in the area, and their leaders are warning that they're being unfairly blamed and targeted because of a fraud scandal worth more than $1 billion that have implicated more than several dozen Somalis. Minnesota is reeling from a fraud scandal involving $1 billion siphoned from multiple federal programs during the COVID pandemic. In the past 3 years, 87 people have been charged, 61 convicted, most of Somali descent. Erica MacDonald was U.S. Attorney for the District of Minnesota during the first Trump administration. What happened in Minnesota where fraud was able to run rampant that it didn't in other states?
Lack of accountability, frankly. We knew that fraud occurs, and there's warning signs that come with it, and they were ignored in this case.
According to investigators, the schemes involved bogus receipts and invoices for meal programs, housing assistance, and behavioral health services, charging the state millions of dollars for services that were never provided. This week, the president has repeatedly lashed out at Minnesota's Somali community.
We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
I think it's a beautiful country.
Jamal Osman, who moved from Somalia to Minnesota when he was 14, is a naturalized U.S. citizen and a member of the Minneapolis City Council.
Anyone who looks like me are scared right now.
The fear comes as the Somali community here is bracing for a surge of ICE agents cracking down on migrants who have been issued final deportation orders. The president is pointing to the fraud cases in Minnesota, and we know that a majority of the suspects are of Somali descent. How is your community taking that?
Well, my community is upset. Yes, people commit crimes, but the entire community should not be blamed based on what some individuals did.
Republicans on a House Oversight Committee in Washington are also announced in a news release their own investigation into the fraud and whether some of that money, stolen money, could have made its way to terrorists overseas. I spoke with several federal investigators. They say there's no evidence that happened. Instead, they say, Nate, that the fraudsters pocketed the money for their own use, bought cars, trips, diamonds, and so much more.
And you know, I was going to say something like, how dare they? How dare they take what these couple dozen people did and demonize an entire group and call them all criminals and garbage and all that. But fuck them. This guy pardoned 1,500 people who we watched on television. We watched them beat the shit out of cops, storm the Capitol, tear shit up, steal things, do a bunch of stuff. I don't give a damn about the Trump administration or any of these Republicans who were okay with him pardoning these people, suddenly talking about law and order and shit like that. You don't care about law and order. If you cared about law and order, you wouldn't have put 1,500 criminals back on the damn streets. And you know, what this is leading to, and you guys have probably seen videos of it, of things that have been going on with these people, is a bunch of people who are becoming hateful, racist, and outright criminal and violent toward these people. And I came across this video of this young lady who basically said, I'm going to have to be the ambassador for my people and tell you guys how I feel about this. And she basically says what I have said in many of my videos. You take any group of people, any culture, any subset in this country, anywhere else, what you're going to find are mostly the predominant number of these people want exactly what you want. They want the American dream. They want a family, they want a house, they want a car, they want safety. That is what they want.
Hi, so I just really want to make this video from like a human space. This is something I've been really meaning to say, and I'm so glad that I can finally articulate it to you guys. So I'm Somali. I grew up in Minnetonka. I've been raised here my entire life. I am born here and I've lived here. I've studied here. I'm a pre-med. I do research, and that's usually the type of stuff I talk about on my page. But right now I feel like it's really important for me to say this. What I'm going to say is that I have been getting so many messages telling me to go back to your country, go back to your country. But the reality of the situation is the United States is the only country I've ever known my entire life. And the thing is, the great irony of it all is I'm not the ambassador of Somalia. I don't speak for Somali people. I'm not a spokesperson for this community. I'm just one young person trying to study, navigate life, and live like any other 20-something-year-old living here in this state. And so something that I feel like is going on is that there's a lot of immigrant people and first-gen, second-gen kids like me with this weight on our shoulders trying to explain everything going on in our communities, trying to defend our communities. But I'm really no different from any other 20-something-year-old trying to make it here in this state, in this country, in this world. And so I'm sharing this because I really feel like a lot of us are being treated this way and dealing with this quietly. But the reality is we aren't symbols. We aren't some type of ambassador. We are just human beings. like everybody else.
I wish everyone could just realize this. I wish everyone could just look at people and realize that most people just want to navigate life, just want to have a good time, enjoy this small portion of time that we have on this earth, have a good family, get a job that they feel like is fulfilling. I wish people could see that and be more empathetic toward people. To the guy Muhammad at the beginning, the guy who said, we voted for Trump because he's a fighter. How does it feel to know that you sold out your people the way you did? That there's a young lady, like this young lady, Seyhan, I hope I said her name right, that we just listened to, that is out here saying, I just want to live. I just want to live. I'm trying to live and navigate this world the best way that I can. We've been suffering in silence. I haven't said anything about this, and now I feel like I have to say this. How do you feel to know that that girl is being affected by your dumbass vote? You chose to vote for someone who you knew hated everyone who looks like you. You knew it when you did it. You heard what he said about everyone else who looked like you. You voted for him anyway, and now people like her are suffering. They have to deal with the vitriol, the hate, the racism, because your dumbass decided that you hated yourself and other brown and black people so much that you voted for you voted for a racist. That's what you did. It pisses me off. I don't think your kids are garbage. I don't think they are. But the guy you love thinks they are. And you told us to trust him. So on this one, I'm starting to wonder. I know you're garbage. You're definitely garbage. I feel bad for your kids to have to be born to someone who is as gullible and dumb as you are to vote for Donald Trump. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.